In a world where football opinions divide nations, one man dares to bring justice to the chaos. GJustice.
Buongiorno, good morning, calcio and football lovers of the world. My name is Justice, and together we will judge the most controversial takes of Serie A. The most controversial takes, the one that you want to debate, you want to discuss, your bold opinion about the football world. If you are ready, I'm ordering you immediately to put a maximum of like and to subscribe to the channel. Because we start with the agenda, the first case, but it's not the only one. Matias Soule, should he become Italian to play with the Italian national team? And we start with facts, because facts are always the most important thing. He's born in Argentina. Matias Soule feels Argentinian. Matias Soule is Argentinian also on papers. It's true, he's working and living in Italy since a few years, since he arrived in Juventus at the youth academy and is now representing Roma, AS Roma, where he's playing fantastically well. Another fact, Italian team of Gennaro Gattuso needs a talent because he is a talent like Matias Soule. Unfortunately for us, he already declined us one time, it's a fact, where he said, quote, I want to play for Argentina because I feel Argentinian. Of course, his dream is to play for the country that he supported when they won the World Cup. The country that saw fantastic number 10s playing in. Maradona, Messi, Dybala, his teammates at Roma. The most important thing is he doesn't feel Italian. And I respect him a lot for his decision to have that dream, to one day wear the colors of the country that he's belonging to. No, he doesn't feel Italian. He will never feel Italian. And to play with the Italian national team, whatever color of the skin, wherever you are born, you need one principle, is feeling Italian. So the case that I judge is closed. Closed? No. Matias Soule will not represent, should not represent Italy, but should continue to dream to play for the country that he loves, that he feels to, Argentina. We go with the next case. I quote, if Danilo stayed, he could have been a huge asset to our defense. I judge that is wrong. Danilo could have been a huge asset in the locker room if he found an affinity, a beautiful way of keeping the relationship with Thiago Motta. Thiago Motta decided to put him aside. I really believe that he could have been a huge asset in terms of leadership in the locker room in season 24-25, not anymore, unfortunately, in our defense, because the performances of ex-capitano, the number 6 of Juve, were already declining. So I said, no, he would not have been in season 25-26 a huge asset for the defense of Juve. We go to the third case. Bernardeschi, that openly stated, Juventus, when I was at Juve, I asked the number 10, but they told me no, they declined. I felt really bad. And I want to judge this one with a absolutely yes, correct, beautiful decision, correct decision from Juventus Football Club. The number 10 at Juve is not the joke. With all the respect for Federico, that is a good guy that had a lot of potential before wearing the mighty, the magic number 10 at Juve. You need to show, you need to deliver, you need to prove, and probably it would have been a stretch to give the number 10 on the shoulders of a player that had his moment of difficulty, especially mentally. That number 10 would even increase it more. So absolutely correct decision by Juventus Football Club. Fourth case of the day, a fan of Milan on social media is writing, Modric now is better than Pirlo ever was. One day Milan fans will accept it, and I would even love to say he is right or he is wrong, judging the opinion. Unfortunately, I cannot, because during Wales Belgium yesterday qualification for the World Cup, a rat was running on the field. Unfortunately, this is not AI, this really happened. But the problem is that that fan of Milan quote retweeted immediately these pictures telling us that Pirlo was running on the pitch, identifying Pirlo as a rat. I believe that if we really want to go to judging an opinion, we should go with some opinions that are totally valid and not made of anger or hate. So absolutely wrong, the opinion of the Milan fan. We go with the fifth case. Soraz in our Telegram group that is writing, if Kenan Yildiz was at Real Madrid, he would be worth 120 million. I totally agree with that immediately. For what reason? Because of PR, of course, PR, media, because the eye of international fans that are watching, celebrating, probably overrating, over-exaggerating the teams that they are watching, the leagues that they are interested in, and also the highlights and skills that are promoted much more in certain clubs or certain leagues. Absolutely, yes, there is a Real Madrid tax that is in a way good, on the other side also bad, because if you're flopping, the entire world knows it. But it's true that if Yildiz would have been in Real Madrid, but not only, he would probably have been worth much more than the 120 million that Sarraz is stating. Absolutely correct, I agree with that decision. Another case, Football Tweet is writing, with beautiful emoji and hearts in the eyes, Como stage Giuseppe Sinigallia is something else. I totally not agree with that. If you would have written the decor, the background in Como is just something else, I would have even agreed with you. Because it's true, look at the lake, look at the mountains, look also probably at the photoshopped, edited picture that you can see here on the screen. It's beautiful. But then you have the stadium. The stadium is absolutely not acceptable for Serie A. Will they change the stadium? Will they continue to build? Probably yes, and this is an opinion of the president of Como, but at the moment I cannot agree with that take. It's over order in the court. We go with another take, the one of Nesta Alessandro, that said the national team doesn't need tactics. You are only together 3-4 days. If you teach tactics, they leave and go back to their clubs, come back 2 months later, and they forget everything. I totally agree with Alessandro Nesta on that. Of course, you need some principle. Of course, you need some guidance. You need explaining a bit what the players need to do. Tactics is a big word, especially in small, short terms. You have to go with your heart. Playing for the national team is something else. You need qualities. You need to select the best player, and you need to find a way to let them play together. But tactics are overrated with national teams. We continue with Nemanja Stankovic on the Telegram group of GJustice that says Juric is not actually bad and he will not be sacked. I agree with him. Juric comes from the Gasperini school, and it's true that he's paying the tax of Roma beginning of the season, and then when he went in Premier League, a club that was already lost, he couldn't do anything about that. He pays for the disaster 24-25 season on 2 benches, but Juric is absolutely not a bad coach. Is he a winning Serie A coach? Far from that, but much better than what people are saying. We go with the last case of today for Justice, Dominic Foccarino, that is going with, what if Juventus never sold Chiesa, Huijsen, Soulé, Fagioli, Mangula, Savona? What if we signed Calafiori instead of Koopmeiners, signed Donnarumma when we had the opportunity? My friends, what if, we will never know, because every single player that you mentioned here has a different story. Look at Soulé, that after Frosinone, after a disaster, big part of the first season with Roma, before starting to perform at the end and in the beginning of this season, well, it's different than the destiny of Chiesa, that is still not performing at Liverpool with continuity, that couldn't still be saying yes to Gennaro Gattuso to be called up with the national team. Look at Bangula, that found at the moment his level with Wolfsburg. Could he have continued to deliver at Juve? Big question mark, especially under a coach that would not play him or giving continuity. What about Fagioli and his mental state? Maybe without the external problem, we will never know. And that's a huge big question why I'm never regretting when players are leaving, when players are arriving. We don't know what could have been. Could they have worked out better? Absolutely yes. Could they have been worse? Probably yes. We don't know. It's important to put things into context and going to judge everyone individually. And that was for the court of today. The decision has been made. We see you next time.